Welcome to the Atlanta Gladiators podcast, your go-to destination for everything Gladiators. Twice a month, live from the Business Radio X studios at the Gas South Convention Center. Play-by-play broadcaster Liam Gotimer will interview a Gladiator about his journey to professional hockey. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the Atlanta Gladiators podcast. Hello, all, and welcome back to the Atlanta Gladiators podcast. It is episode 61. I am your host, Liam Gotimer, the Director of Broadcasting and Communications for the team. Today, I'm pleased to be joined by Kertiss Baisden, a valued member of our Community Relations Department at the Gladiators. Kertiss, thank you for joining us today.
What's going on, Liam? Happy to have you. Happy to be here.
Nothing much. It's a beautiful Thursday here at the Gas South Convention Center.
They're really nice. Setup's really nice. Everybody's really nice. All the people off screen are really nice. The people at home can't see. But yeah, it's really a really dope experience here, and I'm happy that the people at Business X are willing to have me.
Yeah, shout out to our partners at Business Radio X for making this happen. Not a player joining us today, but Kertiss, you are putting together an event, the first of its kind in terms of Atlanta Gladiators history. It's Black Ambition Night, and I want to get into all of that. It's coming up on April the 4th. But before that, let's learn a little bit more about Kertiss. Fans don't know much about you. Tell us about yourself and kind of where your ambitions lie and your experience with the Glad so far.
Gotcha. So I'm Kertiss, as Liam said. I've been working with the Gladiators for the last couple of months. I'm originally from Atlanta, the real city, the inner city. I went to South Atlanta High School, went to Kennesaw State, where I played basketball at Georgia Southern as well. And my career has been a bit of a whirlwind. I started in recruiting, and after I got done with that, I wanted to make a pivot back into sports. I really had a passion for it, and I really enjoyed the role that sports teams can play within the community at large. And being a product of that, being a product of or programs from like the Braves and the Hawks, just diving back into sports has been something I really wanted to do. So that's kind of how I ended up here.
It seems like you've really become ingrained with that sense of community growing up, of course, in the greater Atlanta area. Talk to me about how you first got involved with sports, even if it wasn't initially hockey.
I grew up, I'm really tall. As most people know, if you ever come to a Gladiator game, I'm usually the tall guy walking behind Max. So I always grew up playing basketball, playing football, different sports. I always took a liking to a lot of different things. One of the places where I really kind of grew that passion was at the Boys and Girls Club. I was on the Boys and Girls Club basketball team, flag football team, and one of the biggest things that I really kind of got me into understanding the role that teams can play without really being there was the Braves. They have like a summer baseball program. And so pretty much during the summers, I would play baseball with the Boys and Girls Club, and we would play against different clubs. And so, my love for sport came from just growing up in my community, using it as a pastime to just, pastime. When I grew up, it wasn't really much Instagram or TikTok or things to keep you busy outside of just going outside and having fun with friends. So, yeah, sports has really become a big part of that. And in terms of how I got kind of and bridged that with the community aspect or community impact aspect is my mom worked in the schools. So my mom, she worked as a community engagement specialist for a long time, probably about 30 years now. She worked at Atlanta Public Schools, Fulton County Schools, and she pretty much was the head of the parent liaison. So she ran all the Title IX programs and things like that, which were in charge of making sure sports and programs were equal. So that really got me involved in understanding like the importance of having a community advocate, being a part of the community, the things that you can do. And so, all of those different roles kind of led me here.
It's really interesting to hear how growing up you were able to integrate that love that you had for sports with the sense of community that your mom that you said helped to forge. So that's pretty sweet, and we're really happy to have you, Kertiss, with the Gladiators. So you've been interning with the Gladiators, or been a part of our community relations department, I should say, over the last several months. Your experience specifically working with this team, getting involved with one of two professional hockey teams in the state of Georgia. How's that been?
It's been very interesting. Kind of getting into this internship, I really didn't know what to expect. It's really been one of the best decisions I made in my life, I can be honest. I've met so many dope people and made so many dope connections. And I've just been able to leverage those to make events like Black Ambition Night happen. So I didn't really know much about hockey when I first started. I think that's kind of the place that a lot of interns are in when they start in hockey, at least in Georgia, and
Yeah.
that's something that we're working to change. But I think that lack of familiarity kind of let me walk in with this naive take, like, oh well, hockey's just not for me. It's a sport that people like me don't play or participate in, so
Yeah.
I really won't see much value in this. And after the first game, I was kind of hooked. The experience, the speed, the excitement, the aggression, the physicality, all of that stuff is stuff that you see in all of these different other sports. And uh, being a part of this internship kind of really along with other things, is really why I kind of am a lover of hockey now. And so, yeah, it's been a really interesting experience, especially being a person who's from Atlanta and seeing the Thrashers leave and has
Yeah.
a fractured relationship with hockey. It's been really dope to kind of patch that up, being on the inside and kind of seeing how effective and how popular the sport truly is.
And what a perfect transition to Black Ambition Night, because Kertiss, as an intern, you really jumped right in trying to create this first ever theme night, and the Gladiators have backed you and supported you in pursuit of that, and it will all come to fruition on April the 4th.
Mhm.
Give me a general summarization of Black Ambition Night and what you hope that it is on April 4th.
Black Ambition Night is a celebration of the game of hockey and a celebration of the pioneers of the game of hockey, a celebration of the future pioneers of hockey. And to be honest, it's about establishing and reestablishing, honestly, a culture of hockey here in Atlanta and an inclusive culture of hockey here in Atlanta. I think that one of the things that in the future there may be an NHL team, and who knows how long, but I think that in order for it to stay, in order for it to have that presence in the city like it should, I think that it has to be inclusive and involve everybody and involve all communities, not just Atlanta, not just the metro area, but up here in Gwinnett and in Duluth area and Lawrenceville and in Lilburn, and these extended communities that really are the backbone of a lot of the fan bases in the state. So yeah, it's about culture. It's about celebrating the pioneers of the game, but it's also about creating that new culture and kind of uh, blazing that new trail for. Blazing that new trail for hockey in the future.
You briefly touched on the underrepresentation of African Americans and African Canadians in the sport of hockey. In 2022, the NHL came out with a report that stated that there was less than 5% of African American or Canadian representation in the NHL. How much of that motivates you to make this event impactful, both on the ice and off of it?
I think that number is is proof that there's a lack of investment in certain communities, and it's not the fault of the NHL alone. It's the fault of a lot of different stakeholders, for being honest. But in order for us to go forward in the proper way, I think I took a lot of this from my conversation with Kwame Mason, who's the filmmaker from Soul on Ice. And one of his things was just grassroots organization, grassroots programming. Like our partnership right now we have with NHL Streets. Just being able to get a hockey stick in some kids' hands and get them to play with it and just kind of play the game, get them understand the game, understand the rules, even if it's just on a minor level. Just introducing people to the game at a younger age and giving them the ability to use that athletic talent some other way. I think providing those resources, providing space and equipment, those things are hurdles that we have to constantly overcome. But
Right.
organizations like RCX Sports and NHL Streets and some of the programs or things that they do have helped, remedy some of those issues. So for me, to answer your question, it's just about grassroots programming, getting people and kids familiar with the game, most importantly, and again, creating events like Black Ambition Night to cater to crowds and people who might not necessarily see themselves in the sport.
We were talking about before the episode started just how much of a fun sport hockey is to watch in person. And I feel like playing it is much the same way. You can watch someone play and then think, oh, this is fun. But if you actually have a hockey stick in your hands, it really makes the world of difference. I would know. I dressed up as a goalie
for sure.
after yesterday's game and took slap shots from our entire staff, which was a lot of fun. But Kertiss, back to Black Ambition Night. You touched on the collaboration that the Gladiators currently have with the NHL and NHL Street. How did you initially get in contact with the National Hockey League? Because I have to be honest, I was an intern at 1.2 with the Savannah Ghost Pirates, and to see an intern or somebody who has that title come in and make a connection with the highest pro hockey league in the United States or in the world. That's truly incredible, and you certainly deserve a lot of credit. So, how did that all come to fruition? And just take me through that entire process.
I'm a product of my city. I'm a product of my environment. So I'm a hustler. If you're from Atlanta, if you're from Georgia, you're a hustler. So
Yeah.
I'm a LinkedIn hustler. That's my substance of choice. And so
Okay.
if I'm on I'm always trying to get a new connection and trying to see how many people I can kind of weave together. I think Black Ambition Night has truly been a product of a lot of weaving. A lot of people who might not have known that they need to be involved with one another, but
Yeah.
now that we've gotten them in the same room together, some big things are happening. Primarily, one thing that I can announce now is one of our activations that we're doing with RCX Sports and NHL Streets at A. Worley Brown Boys and Girls Club on April 3rd, the day before the event. So they're going to bring out 100 kids. We're going to get them free tickets to come to the game the next day, and they're going to have a whole clinic that is going to be feature some of the players from the Gladiators. So just kind of having that kind of introduction to the sport at a young age. And we're starting at, I think, 6 all the way up to like 14, 15. And so to have an introduction like that where pro players are coming to my club and able to teach me how to play the game that they do professionally, that's a once in a lifetime experience. And it's through a lot of different connections I made on LinkedIn, reaching out to the people at the NHL, reaching out to the people with the Boys and Girls Club, reaching out to the people with RCX Sports, and get them all in one room so we can create something impactful. So yeah, it's just a product of I'm a product of my environment, and yeah, I just like to hustle and make things happen.
Kertiss, that's incredible stuff.
I appreciate it.
You should be really proud. And we talk about so much in the southern part of the United States of how important it is to grow the game of hockey. And I can't tell you how many people talk about growing the game of hockey. A lot of people are talking the talk, but how many are walking the walk and getting out there and making things happen? And
Exactly.
you're making things happen.
Yeah.
So you are making the difference in your community, in the greater Atlanta area, and for the game too. I mean, I'm really at a loss for words, Kertiss, because what you're doing is really awesome, and to make the Gladiators a part of that and to incorporate the NHL, that's special stuff.
Oh no, I appreciate it, and kind of build off the back of that. I just really want people to understand uh, how easy it is. Like it's definitely difficult. It's definitely hard. I definitely have hundreds of emails that have not been responded to. I
Yeah,
definitely have to maintain and stay on top of things. But
yeah,
if you're passionate enough about the game that you're supporting or whatever team that you're working with that day or in your community and how you can use that team or that platform to make an impact there, you can do it. And so it's plenty of people like me who have similar situations or circumstances who have plenty of people they can connect together and make things happen. So if you have the opportunity to do it, just try it. Worst thing you can do is fail, and failing is actually pretty cool. So yeah, it was a task to get this night done, but it's been a lot of trial and error, and I definitely failed more than I succeeded in order to get this night done. But I think it's going to be a fantastic event, to be honest.
one of the best pieces of advice I was ever given: if you're not failing, you're not
Right.
trying.
Exactly.
So, you know what, you're going to go through your ups and downs, but to be able to come out on the other side and know that you made a difference for the game and made a difference for your community, I mean, there really is nothing better
Exactly.
than that. Kertiss, NHL Street is not the only experience surrounding this night. There will also be a battle of the bands featuring the Jonesboro Majestic Marching Cardinals and the South Gwinnett Marching Stars as well. Tell me a little bit more about that and how that adds to the experience of Black Ambition Night.
So one of the dope things that I really wanted to bring was a battle of the bands, and it was inspired by actually my first school day event. So we do a school day event. We actually just did one yesterday. That's why everybody sounds so tired. But we did our school day yesterday. It was amazing, packed out. The kids love everything, especially not being in school. But yeah, at that game, the very first school day game, it was a band in the stand, and I was in the stands, and I was kind of taken aback that that was a possibility at a hockey game, and so I was like,
Yeah.
it kind of got my wheels turning, and it kind of was the first kind of initiating incident or whatever. I can't think of the word, but it was the thing that kind of the first domino to fall to make me kind of think about Black Ambition Night and what I could possibly produce
Sure.
and bring to the arena. And so, yeah, it was a passion project. It's been very tough getting a band in April right before spring break has been a very difficult task, especially getting them all in their tickets and getting them all there. But yeah, the big thing of the night is just kind of pumping out that music and culture. Jonesboro High School is was voted one of the best bands in the country, if not the best band in the country by ESPN last year. They performed at the Macy's Day Parade, Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade last year, and toured down. And they're looking to go to London for the New Year's Day Parade this year. So they're raising money for that. Chuckapuck, they will be beneficiaries of Chuckapuck that night. So if you're
Nice.
looking to come out, please buy as many Chuckapucks as you can, so you can send some people out to London and show off that Georgia flavor. But yeah, I wanted a real South versus North. We get a representation of the Gwinnett community with South Gwinnett High School, and then we got the South side of the city with Jonesboro High School. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of flavor, a lot of funk, and yeah, the HBCU energy will be pumping through the arena.
Wow, that's going to be awesome.
For
And what
sure.
a way to combine the fan experiences that groups are able to do with the Gladiators.
Mhm.
Of course, I mean that's quite a resume there to have performed at the Thanksgiving Macy's Day
Exactly.
Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, I should say. And in addition, there, Curtis, there will be a concourse market and art walk as well. It will feature creative displays from local students and artists, highlighting the power of Black artistry and entrepreneurship. Tell the fans a little bit more about that. What are fans able to do before the game, after the game, to get involved and see the wonderful pieces of content that are being created?
Okay, so the doors are open around 5:30, like a normal game, but
Okay.
the concourse market will be a little different than a normal game day. So we'll be having a couple of activations from the NHL Streets team and RCX Sports. They're going to have some like hockey games that people can play out in the concourse, but a big part, like you were saying, is the art walk or art market. And so we're going to have at least 7 to 8 Black-owned art vendors out there selling their art. They have different types of art from, things that are a bit more foreign and abstract into things that are a bit more sports driven and things of that nature. Also, one thing that I can announce now, happily, is that we're working with the Hudgens Center of Learning and Arts and Learning. I'm sorry, Hudgens Center for Arts and Learning, to display, I think, 3 to 5 pieces from Black artists from their permanent collection. So
Oh wow.
that's really dope. You don't really go to hockey games and see pieces from an art gallery every day. So that's really cool. They're literally right next door to us. And so Ms. Laura has been very gracious in allowing us to have those pieces. And so I want to say thank you to them specifically for adding some extra culture to our event. But along with that, we're going to have some coloring sheets from Club 404 that they've been really gracious in helping us produce. And they'll have, sheets that go and speak about some of the Black pioneers in the game, like Anson Carter, one of our owners,
Yeah.
and then Herb Carnegie, who's a Black pioneer in hockey, who's a lesser name known, but somebody I got familiar with through some of my studies.
Yeah. And who are some other influential individuals that you have been able to get in contact with in terms of the history of African Americans in hockey and trying to create this night?
So we've talked to a number of different people, especially just kind of getting input about the night. Like I was just saying, Kwame Mason, who does the film Soul on Ice. We've talked to Anson Carter, one of our owners. A number of different influencers, especially in the space. It's been a really collaborative effort, and so a lot of people have definitely given me advice and some feedback in terms of what they think we can create and what we should create and what they feel like we should talk about. And a lot of them, their main mission is grassroots work. A lot of this NHL street stuff, just getting the sticks in kids' hands. And so, yeah, that's been a big part of what we've been doing. But I'm very grateful for everybody that's given me advice and everybody I've been talking to about the night.
And Curtis, you touched on Kwame Mason and his documentary, Soul on Ice. How much did just watching that and just seeing the real life experiences influence you to want to create this night and want to talk to Kwame about his experience, what he went through, and kind of what went into creating the entire documentary?
When I was thinking about Black Ambition Night, I really wanted to think about a way that we could speak to the game of hockey in terms of its importance or Black people's importance to the game.
Yeah.
And I really didn't know that much about hockey or any the origins of anything, to be honest. And so as a Black person here in Georgia, you know a lot about Black history. And a big thing you hear about is the Great Migration, right? When people in the South, at Jim Crow South, they moved from Mississippi, Georgia, the South, and they move up to Chicago, New York area.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't know that a lot of Black people didn't stop in Chicago. They didn't stop in New York. They moved all the way up to Ontario, and so I think it's called the Maritime Hockey League, but it's one of the most influential and pioneering hockey leagues ever created because it was literally started by two different churches. They just wanted to get black people or black men specifically, into the church, and they figured the best way to do it was through hockey. And through that Maritime Hockey League, we get people like Herb Carnegie. We get revolutions to the game, like some of the ways we see goalies play now. We see the slap shot, different game styles and different things. But I learned a lot of that history through that film, Solo on Ice. And one of the pioneers that I was speaking about, Herb Carnegie, he was the Jackie Robinson of hockey almost.
Yeah.
He never got the opportunity to play in the NHL because they pretty much told him, hey, either you're going to play in our minor league team or you're not playing in the NHL at all. And he decided, hey, I'll just stay where I am and continue to play and make my money. And so he never got to had that Jackie Robinson moment, which a lot of people go back and speak to now, like saying why hockey isn't as diverse as it could be, because in that moment when Herb Carnegie had that opportunity to possibly break the color barrier a little bit earlier than Ed O'Ree, or I'm sorry,
Willie
Willie
O'Ree.
O'Ree, I'm sorry, all the names mixing up.
No worries.
Mr. Willie O'Ree, they believe that if Herb was able to do it before, that we would see so much more progress in terms of diversity in hockey. But again, one of those silent pioneers, one of those people you don't really know a lot about, but they made such a big impact on the game, and we wouldn't see a lot of the players that we see today without them. So, yeah, it's an amazing film. I suggest everybody go watch it. Kwame's an amazing guy. He really gave me a lot of advice and really was a big influence on this night. And so, yeah, if you have any time, go check out Solo on Ice or one of his other films, which is free on YouTube right now, which is called Ice Queens, and it's about Black women in hockey. So, yeah, really a lot to say. Yeah, it was a big influence on the night.
That's amazing, Kertiss. And that wasn't the only person that you were able to get in contact with. You also talked with former NHL player and Pittsburgh Penguins draft pick Jaden Lindo. That was a fascinating watch. I was able to check that out. So currently up on the Gladiators YouTube channel, if you'd like to watch. What was interviewing him like? And of course, just gaining firsthand experiences from somebody who again has experiences with an NHL franchise in the past.
I think my conversation with Jaden was really one of the most eye-opening ones. As a former athlete, the biggest thing that you have to overcome a lot of times is kind of divorcing yourself from that athlete persona. And even though Jaden played hockey and I played basketball, when we started talking about just our experience and our journey kind of going from athlete into the corporate space, it was a lot of similarities. And I think that just kind of speaking with him, speaking about some of the struggles that he had as one of few Black people that are playing hockey or on his teams or in a lot of his areas, it was just very eye-opening, and it really put a battery in my back to get this night underway and get it started, because he'd done similar things during his time in Pittsburgh, and I understood how impactful you can be as an athlete, as a former athlete, as somebody who understands the value and the significance that sports can play outside of just entertainment. Yeah, it was a very eye-opening conversation, and it really taught me. And I wouldn't have known who he was or what he had done, or any of his contribution to the game if it wasn't for Solo on Ice. And so, yeah, just following his journey and seeing him go through the draft and get drafted and not really have things pan out the way he wanted them to pan out, but then him working his way into the front office role and trying to figure out how he can leverage his space and experience as a Black hockey player to make a more communal impact for the community of for Pittsburgh. And so, yeah, it was a really cool experience to kind of see somebody who's a bit older than me, but has a lot of the same experiences I have. And yeah, it really kind of taught me about what hockey can be, and how it truly can what hockey can be, and how sports in general can just be a, a commonality that can really kind of transcend any kind of circumstance. Just being a former athlete, kind of trying to do new things.
Sports and hockey are a binding force, and hockey is certainly a community, a family, and we need to make sure that we're opening it up to as many people as possible. And what you're doing is adding to that in this area. So truly an influential person here with me, Kertiss Baisden. This has been awesome. I have a couple more questions for you before we end episode 61 of the Atlanta Gladiators podcast.
Okay.
How can fans, businesses, potential sponsors get involved with you? What opportunities are there to be a real driving force behind this night?
To be honest, the biggest way to be involved in this night, if I'm being honest, this is the first Black Ambition night. Hopefully not the last. It won't be the last, but it's the first Black Ambition night. So the best way to support this year is just to come out and be in the building. We want to let the NHL know. We want to let RCX Sports know that there are hockey lovers in this city. There are hockey lovers in this state. And we want to show them as much as we can that we're up for the task of building our own culture here in Atlanta. Our parent team, the Nashville Predators, are really top tier when it comes to building a culture in the South and Southern hockey. And so I think we can do a really good job at building our own here in Atlanta. And I think that if you really want to be a part of that journey, a good start will be showing up and hanging out with us on April 4th.
What is your overall message to anybody listening or watching this episode of the Atlanta Gladiators podcast about the development of the game in this area, about Black Ambition Night, about what you are trying to cultivate with this event? What is your message to the people, Kirk?
My big thing I really want to get out there is that in order for us to continue to grow and thrive as a community, we have to be inclusive. We have to worry about and think about everybody. And so we need to create spaces and create events and platforms for everybody to be represented and celebrated. And so the county of Gwinnett has been a great county. The city of Duluth has been amazing. They actually have been very helpful, and we have some projects in the pipe that I can't talk about now, but we definitely will be announcing soon. We're doing some big things with the city. And so this city is prime for it. Really needs a team, and I think that the Gladiators, along with other teams, are helping fill that hole. But I think that Gwinnett is one of those places where it's definitely on the come up, and so invest now, invest early, and get in with the Glads while you can.
And let's keep growing the game of hockey.
Exactly.
The greatest game on earth, and let's make it much more inclusive than it has been, and realize that there is a need for change, and realize that if we want to be behind that change, we got to start. And
that's the goal.
You're starting, Kertiss, with Black Ambition Night, and certainly I could speak for everybody at the Gladiators. We are truly excited. Please call our front office at 770-497-5100 for our main line. Maybe you can get in contact with Kertiss, learn a little bit more about the night. But besides that, I'm Liam Gotimer.
Hey, thank you for having me, Liam.
Of course, my pleasure. This has been episode 61 of the Atlanta Gladiators podcast featuring Kertiss Baisden. Be sure to check out Black Ambition Night coming up on April the 4th. Take care.
Perfect.
Thank you for listening and watching this episode of the Atlanta Gladiators podcast. As a reminder, you can find the Atlanta Gladiators podcast on YouTube. We'd also like to extend our heartfelt appreciation to our wonderful partners at Business Radio X for hosting us. Until next time, stay safe, stay well, and as always, go Glads.